Stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you will either change your life forever, or you'll ignore it and stay exactly where you are, weak, fragile, and at the mercy of everything life throws at you. Right now, while you're watching this, someone out there is going through hell. They lost their job. Their partner walked away. Their reputation is being destroyed. Their body is breaking down. Everything they built is crumbling. And yet, they're not broken. They're not crying. They're not begging the universe for mercy. Why? Because they possess something you don't. Something that most people will spend their entire lives in never discovering. Something so powerful that it makes them completely immune to the chaos that destroys everyone else. It's not luck. It's not money. It's not even intelligence. It's an unbreakable mindset, a fortress in their mind that nothing can penetrate. No betrayal can crack it. No failure can shake it. No rejection can wound it. They've trained their mind to be so invincible that life itself has to bow to them instead of breaking them. And here's what's going to make you angry. The only reason you don't have this yet is because you were never taught how to build it. While you were learning to be nice, to be sensitive, to process your feelings, others were learning the dark laws of mental power. They were studying Machiavelli's brutal truths about human psychology. They were building mental armor while you were collecting emotional wounds. But today, that ends. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover the 7 cold laws of mental invincibility. Not soft advice, not motivation. Surgical psychological principles that transform your mind from a glass house into an impenetrable fortress. By the time you finish watching this, pain won't break you anymore. It will build you. Betrayal won't wound you. It will inform you. Rejection won't destroy you. It will redirect you. Now, I want you to drop this declaration in the comments. Nothing breaks me. Everything builds me. Are you ready to become psychologically untouchable? Let's begin. Law 1. Pain is information, not identity. I want you to think about the last time something truly hurt you. Maybe it was betrayal. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was loss. Now I want you to remember how you reacted. Did you collapse? Did you spiral? Did you let that pain become who you are? Most people do. They take a moment of pain and turn it into a lifetime of identity. They don't say, I experienced betrayal. They say, I am broken. They don't say, I failed at something. They say, I am a failure. They don't say, I lost something important. They say, I am lost. This is where weakness lives. Not in the pain itself, but in the confusion between experiencing pain and becoming pain. Here's the truth that will set you free. Pain is data, it's information, it's feedback from reality telling you something needs to change. But most people never decode the message because they're too busy drowning in the emotion. Machiavelli watched powerful men rise and fall based on one simple distinction. The ones who survived understood that suffering was temporary. The ones who fell believed their suffering was permanent. He wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." What does this mean? It means the weak person eventually learns from pain, but only after years of being destroyed by it. The mentally invincible person extracts the lesson immediately and moves forward. Think about it. When you touch a hot stove, your hand burns. That pain isn't trying to destroy you. It's teaching you. Don't touch hot stoves. The person with an unbreakable mindset applies this same logic to every form of pain. Betrayal, not evidence that you're unworthy, evidence that you trusted the wrong person. Lesson learned. Move forward. Failure, not proof that you're incompetent, proof that your strategy needs adjustment. Update the strategy. Try again. Rejection, not confirmation that you lack value. Confirmation that this particular person or opportunity wasn't aligned with your path. Here's how you transform pain from identity into information. Step 1. Separate the event from your identity. When something painful happens, your first instinct is to make it mean something about who you are. Resist this. The event happened to you. It is not you. Step 2. Extract the lesson surgically. Ask yourself, what is this pain teaching me? What pattern do I need to see? What boundary do I need to set? What strategy do I need to change? Pain that teaches you is an investment. Pain that just hurts you is a waste. Step 3. Implement immediately. Don't sit in the pain. Don't process it for months. Extract the lesson and move. Speed is your weapon against suffering. The faster you learn, the less you suffer. I learned this when I lost everything I had built. My business collapsed. My savings evaporated. People I trusted walked away with money they owed me. I could have spent years being a victim. Instead, I spent 3 days extracting every lesson that disaster taught me. Within 6 months, I had rebuilt bigger and stronger because I treated that pain as the most expensive education I ever received. Most people think resilience means bouncing back from pain. That's amateur thinking. Real mental invincibility means bouncing forward. You don't return to who you were before the pain. You evolve into someone the pain could never touch again. When you understand that pain is information, something beautiful happens. You stop being afraid of it. You stop avoiding situations that might hurt you. You start taking risks that weak people can't take because they're too afraid of the emotional consequences. The person with an unbreakable mindset doesn't fear pain. They expect it. They welcome it. They know that every wound is actually wisdom in disguise. Every setback is actually set up for a stronger version of themselves. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pain is my teacher. Suffering is my choice. Law 2. Detachment is your psychological fortress. Let me tell you about the moment I became untouchable. It wasn't when I got rich. It wasn't when I got recognized. It was the moment I stopped needing anything from anyone. I was sitting in a meeting with people who held my future in their hands. They had the power to approve my project or destroy it. Old me would have been desperate, performing, trying to say exactly what they wanted to hear. But something had shifted in me. I realized something that changed everything. My worth doesn't decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. I sat there completely calm while they deliberated. Not because I didn't care about the outcome, but because I had already detached from needing this particular outcome to feel valuable. And something incredible happened. They approved it. Not because I begged, but because my detachment communicated something they couldn't resist. I didn't need them more than they needed me. Most people are psychological slaves, and they don't even know it. They're slaves to other people's opinions. They need approval like oxygen. Specific outcomes. They collapse when things don't go as planned. External validation. They can't feel good about themselves without someone else confirming it. Material possessions. They identify with what they own instead of who they are. This attachment is the source of all psychological suffering. The more you need something external to feel internally stable, the more power you give that external thing over your emotional state. Machiavelli understood this completely. He wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." But here's the deeper truth he was revealing. The person who needs nothing cannot be controlled by anyone. When you don't need their love, they can't manipulate you with affection. When you don't need their approval, they can't control you with judgment. When you don't need their presence, they can't threaten you with absence. Detachment isn't cold. It's not about not caring. It's about caring without being controlled by that care. Here's how you build this fortress. Principle 1. Your peace cannot depend on external circumstances. If your happiness requires your boss to respect you, your partner to appreciate you, your family to understand you, or the world to recognize you, you have no peace. You have a hostage situation where you're the hostage. Principle 2. Prepare for everything to disappear. The job, the relationship, the money, the reputation, all of it. Mentally rehearse its loss. Not to be pessimistic, but to be free. When you're prepared for loss, loss cannot devastate you. Principle 3. Build multiple sources of identity. Don't be just a lawyer. Don't be just a spouse. Don't be just successful. Have so many facets to your identity that losing one doesn't collapse your entire sense of self. I started practicing this immediately. When someone's opinion of me shifted, instead of panicking or trying to fix their perception, I observed my own attachment to their approval. Then I severed it. Not with anger, with awareness. When opportunities fell through, instead of collapsing into, "What will I do now?" I shifted to, "What's the next move?" The outcome didn't define my worth. It was just data about what worked and what didn't. When relationships ended, instead of falling apart because I needed that person, I recognized that I wanted their presence, but didn't need it to survive. That shift from need to preference is the difference between psychological slavery and psychological freedom. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." You cannot command your life if your emotions are taking orders from everyone else's actions. You cannot be mentally invincible if your internal state is controlled by external chaos. Detachment gives you something priceless, the ability to care deeply without being devastated when things don't go your way. You can love people without needing them to stay. You can pursue goals without needing them to work out exactly as planned. You can want things without collapsing when you don't get them. The person who needs nothing is the person no one can break. Because breaking requires leverage, and when you're detached, you've removed every lever that could be pulled against you. Drop this declaration in the comments. I want much. I need nothing. This is my power. Law 3. Silence is your strategic weapon. Let me tell you about a meeting that changed my life. I was surrounded by people who talked endlessly, proving their intelligence, showcasing their opinions, filling every silence with noise. And there I was, barely saying 10 words the entire hour. At first I felt invisible. Then something shifted. I noticed something fascinating. The more silent I became, the more weight my words carried when I finally spoke. The less I revealed, the more people wondered what I was thinking. The quieter I stayed, the more power I accumulated in that room. That's when I understood something most people never learn. Silence isn't the absence of power. It's the concentration of it. Most people talk because they're afraid. Afraid of being forgotten if they don't constantly remind people they exist. Being seen as having nothing to contribute. Uncomfortable silences that force them to sit with their own thoughts. Losing control of the narrative if they're not constantly explaining themselves. But here's what they don't realize. Every word you speak is intelligence you're giving away for free. Every explanation you offer is a weakness you're advertising. Every time you fill an uncomfortable silence, you're showing the room that their comfort matters more than your power. Machiavelli understood the strategic value of silence. He knew that everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. When you're constantly talking, explaining, defending, justifying, you remove all mystery. You become completely readable. And what's readable is controllable. Here's how silence becomes your weapon. Level 1. Observational silence. While others are performing, you're gathering intelligence. You're noticing who interrupts whom. Who gets defensive when challenged. Who changes their opinion based on who's in the room. Who speaks with precision and who speaks from fear. Every minute you spend listening is a minute you're learning. Every minute they spend talking is a minute they're revealing themselves to you. Level 2. Strategic pausing. Someone makes a disrespectful comment. Your instinct is to respond immediately. Resist. Pause. Let the silence hang. Let them sit in the discomfort of their own words. Let everyone in the room feel the weight of what was just said. That pause does something your words never could. It forces the person who spoke to question whether they crossed a line. It makes everyone else wonder what you're thinking. It shifts the power dynamic without you saying a single word. Level 3. Selective speaking. When you finally do speak, every word must carry weight. No filler, no ums and likes, no apologetic language, no over-explaining. You speak once, you make your point, you stop. The room has to lean in because your words are rare, not because they're loud. I implemented this immediately in every interaction. Meetings where I used to nervously fill silence with chatter became opportunities to observe and strategize. Confrontations where I used to defend myself endlessly became moments of powerful silence, followed by one devastating response. Negotiations where I used to over-explain my position became exercises in strategic patience. The results were immediate and undeniable. People started asking for my opinion instead of me desperately offering it. My words carried more weight because they were scarce. People became uncomfortable trying to manipulate me because I wouldn't engage with their emotional bait. I started seeing through people's facades because I was finally paying attention instead of performing. But here's where silence becomes truly invincible. It removes you from the emotional chaos that destroys most people. When you're not constantly reacting, you're not constantly being manipulated. When you're not always explaining yourself, you're not giving people ammunition to use against you. When you're comfortable with silence, you become someone others can't read, can't predict, and therefore can't control. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." But I'll add this. You can judge someone's power by how comfortable they are with silence. The weak fill every pause with noise. The powerful let silence do their work for them. Your silence isn't weakness. It's not you having nothing to say. It's you choosing not to waste your strategic advantage on people who wouldn't understand it anyway. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence speaks volumes. My words end conversations. Law 4. Your reputation is your invisible armor. 3 years ago, someone tried to destroy my reputation. They spread lies, twisted my words, and poisoned the minds of people I thought I could trust. The old me would have panicked, would have tried to defend myself to everyone, would have exhausted myself trying to correct every false narrative. But I had learned something by then. Something that saved me from drowning in that chaos. Your reputation isn't built by what you say. It's built by what you consistently do. So instead of defending myself with words, I let my actions speak. Instead of arguing with lies, I let my results expose the truth. Instead of fighting for my reputation, I built it so solidly that their attacks couldn't even scratch the surface. Within 6 months, every lie they told about me was exposed by the reality of who I actually was. Their credibility collapsed while mine grew stronger. Why? Because I understood a Machiavellian truth that most people miss. In the game of reputation, consistency destroys criticism. Your reputation is the fortress that protects you before anyone even speaks to you. It's the invisible armor that makes people think twice before attacking you. It's the psychological force field that repels most challenges before they even begin. Machiavelli once said, "A prince ought to take care that he never lets anything slip from his lips that is not replete with the qualities mentioned above, that he may appear to him who sees and hears him altogether merciful, faithful, humane, upright, and religious." But here's the modern translation. Control what people see. Build what people respect. Protect what you've created. Your reputation walks into every room before you do. It determines whether people test you or respect you immediately. An unbreakable reputation has 3 foundational pillars. Pillar 1. Competence that cannot be denied. Be so undeniably good at something important that arguing with your value becomes counterproductive. When your results speak loudly enough, criticism sounds like jealousy. When your skills are obvious enough, doubt looks like ignorance. I've watched people try to diminish my reputation by questioning my abilities. But when the work speaks for itself, when the results are undeniable, when the impact is measurable, their words become noise. You can't argue with someone who consistently delivers what they promise. Pillar 2. Consistency that builds trust. Trust isn't built in big moments. It's built in 1,000 small moments where your actions match your words, where you show up when you say you will, where you deliver what you promise, where your character remains steady regardless of circumstances. People might not like you. They might envy you. They might even try to sabotage you. But if you're consistently competent, consistently ethical, consistently reliable, your reputation becomes bulletproof. Because even your enemies have to admit, I don't like them, but they always deliver. Pillar 3. Strategic visibility. This is where most people fail. They do good work, but nobody knows about it. They build competence in silence and wonder why they're not recognized. You don't have to be loud, but you do have to be visible to the right people at the right times. Share your wins. Document your process. Let people see your journey without begging for attention. Strategic visibility isn't bragging. It's making sure your value is seen by people who can appreciate it, reward it, and spread word of it. When attacks on your reputation come, and they will come, your response determines whether the attack strengthens you or weakens you. Response 1. Don't defend immediately. Let your existing reputation do the initial work. If your foundation is strong, most attacks bounce off without you lifting a finger. Only weak reputations require constant defense. Response 2. Let your actions be your argument. Instead of explaining why the criticism is wrong, demonstrate it through continued excellence. Someone says you're unreliable. Be even more reliable. Someone says you're incompetent. Deliver even better results. Someone says you're dishonest. Let your integrity shine even brighter. Response 3. Choose your battles ruthlessly. Not every attack deserves a response. Some criticism comes from people so irrelevant that acknowledging them gives them more credibility than ignoring them. Save your energy for challenges that actually matter. I learned to live by one simple rule. Build a reputation so solid that lies about you sound ridiculous. When someone tries to paint you as incompetent, unreliable, or unethical, the people who know your work should immediately doubt the accuser, not you. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens through years of doing what you said you'd do, being who you claimed to be, delivering results that match your promises, treating people with consistency regardless of their utility to you, building such obvious competence that doubt requires willful blindness. Machiavelli knew that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. They judge what they see more than what they experience directly. So control what they see, build what they respect, protect it ruthlessly. Your reputation is your armor. Build it thick enough that nothing penetrates. Build it strong enough that attacks only prove your value by showing how much energy people waste trying to damage what they can't destroy. Drop this declaration in the comments. My reputation is my fortress. My results are my defense. Law 5. The power of controlled response. I want you to think about the last time someone provoked you. Maybe they insulted you. Maybe they betrayed you. Maybe they disrespected you in front of others. Now remember how you reacted. Did you explode? Did you defend yourself endlessly? Did you let their actions control your emotions and your response? Most people fail this test every single time because they've never learned the most important law of mental invincibility. The person who controls their response controls the entire situation. Here's what weak people do. Someone pushes their buttons and they react immediately. They get angry, defensive, hurt, or vindictive. They think they're standing up for themselves. They think they're showing strength. They're actually showing exactly where they can be controlled. Every emotional reaction you have is information you're giving to everyone watching. It's a map to your vulnerabilities. It's an instruction manual for how to manipulate you. When someone knows exactly which words trigger your anger, which situations trigger your insecurity, which actions trigger your pain, they own you. Think about it. The person who can make you explode with anger has power over you. The person who can make you desperately explain yourself has power over you. The person who can make you chase their approval has power over you. Because they've proven they can control your emotional state with their actions. Machiavelli watched men rise and fall based on this single principle. The ones who let emotions dictate their actions made impulsive decisions that destroyed them. The ones who felt emotions but controlled their responses made strategic decisions that elevated them. He wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." But the danger isn't the challenge itself. The danger is reacting to the challenge emotionally instead of strategically. Here's the system that creates psychological invincibility. Stage 1. The pause. When something happens that triggers an emotional response, disrespect, betrayal, failure, rejection, your first move is always the same. Pause. Don't speak. Don't act. Don't decide. Just breathe and create space between the stimulus and your response. This pause is where power lives. In that space, you shift from reaction to strategy. You move from being controlled by the situation to controlling your response to the situation. Stage 2. The assessment. During the pause, ask yourself 3 questions. What is the strategic response to this situation? What does this person want from me? Attention? A reaction? To see me lose control? What response serves my long-term goals, not just my immediate emotions? Most people never get to this stage. They're already drowning in emotion before these questions can even form. But the mentally invincible person treats every provocation as a puzzle to be solved, not a wound to be suffered. Stage 3. The strategic response. Now you act, but your action is calculated. It's designed to achieve your goal, not to satisfy your emotions. Sometimes the strategic response is silence. Sometimes it's a single, devastating sentence. Sometimes it's complete removal of your presence from their life. But it's never random. It's never impulsive. It's always chosen. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." But before you can command others, you must command yourself. You must control your own responses before you can control your circumstances. Your emotions are not your enemy, but your uncontrolled reactions are. The person who feels everything but responds strategically is invincible. They have all the passion and drive of emotional people, but none of the vulnerability. Feel the anger. Just don't let it make you impulsive. Feel the hurt. Just don't let it make you weak. Feel the fear. Just don't let it make you paralyzed. Your feelings are information. Your controlled response is power. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I feel everything. I control my response to everything. This is my power. Law 6. Build systems, not hope. I'm going to tell you something that might hurt. If your plan for handling life's chaos is hoping things work out, you don't have a plan. You have a fantasy. And fantasies collapse the moment reality shows up. Here's what I used to do. I'd hope my job would stay secure. I'd hope my relationships would stay stable. I'd hope people would stay loyal. I'd hope opportunities would appear. I'd hope nothing bad would happen. And every single time reality destroyed my hope, I'd collapse. Because hope isn't a strategy. Hope is just anxiety wearing a positive mask. Then I learned something that made me psychologically unbreakable. The mentally invincible don't hope for the best. They build systems that work regardless of what happens. Most people build their entire lives on hope and call it security. I hope my boss appreciates me, so I keep my job. I hope my partner stays loyal, so my relationship survives. I hope nothing goes wrong with my health. I hope my investments don't crash. I hope people don't betray me. Every single one of these hopes is a potential catastrophe waiting to destroy you, because hope requires circumstances to cooperate, and circumstances don't care about your hopes. Machiavelli understood this completely. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But beneath that statement is a deeper truth. It's better to be prepared than hopeful, always. The feared leader isn't hoping people will respect him. He's built systems that make disrespecting him costly. He doesn't hope for loyalty. He creates structures where disloyalty damages the disloyal person more than it damages him. Machiavelli once said, "The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of the people." But I'll add this: the best fortress you can possess is independence from needing any single thing to survive. When your income doesn't depend on one job, job loss can't break you. When your happiness doesn't depend on one person, their departure can't destroy you. When your identity doesn't depend on one achievement, failure can't define you. When your security doesn't depend on everything going right, nothing going wrong can shatter you. This is psychological invincibility. Not hoping everything works out, but building systems that work regardless of what happens. Drop this declaration in the comments. I don't hope for the best. I build systems that survive the worst. Law 7. The invincible truth. You are already unbreakable. Now we arrive at the most powerful truth of all. The one that will either transform you completely or be rejected by the part of you that's still addicted to victimhood. Here it is. You are not broken. You never were. You just believed the lies that weak people tell themselves to justify staying weak. Let me destroy some beliefs that are keeping you fragile. Lie 1. Some people are just naturally mentally tough. No. Mental toughness is built through deliberate practice, just like physical strength. Every mentally invincible person you admire had moments where they felt breakable. The difference is they chose to build strength instead of collecting sympathy. Lie 2. Past trauma makes you permanently damaged. No. Past trauma gives you information about what to avoid and what to strengthen. The mentally invincible person doesn't deny their trauma. They use it as intelligence about where their vulnerabilities are. Then they fortify those areas ruthlessly. Lie 3. You need healing before you can be strong. No. You build strength while healing. You don't wait until everything feels perfect to start becoming invincible. You become invincible by taking action despite everything feeling broken. Lie 4. Being emotionally open means being vulnerable to being hurt. No. Being emotionally unguarded means being vulnerable. Being emotionally open with strategic people while maintaining boundaries with everyone else is strength, not weakness. Your mind is the most adaptable, resilient, powerful tool you possess. But most people treat it like a victim instead of a weapon. They feed it victim narratives. They train it to focus on pain. They condition it to collapse under pressure. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Right now, you appear to be someone who can be broken by circumstances. But what you really are is someone whose mind can adapt to any challenge, overcome any obstacle, survive any storm. The proof? You're still here. Everything that should have destroyed you already happened, and yet you're still watching this video, still breathing, still capable of change. That's not weakness surviving. That's strength proving itself. Here's how you activate the mental invincibility that's been dormant inside you. 1. Stop identifying with your pain. You experienced trauma. You are not traumatized. You had failures. You are not a failure. You felt rejected. You are not rejection. Your experiences are data points, not definitions. 2. Start challenging your mind daily. Do something uncomfortable every single day. Have a difficult conversation. Make a decision you're afraid of. Take a risk that makes you nervous. Your mind becomes stronger through progressive overload, just like muscles. 3. Reframe every setback immediately. The moment something goes wrong, your brain will try to make it mean you're broken. Catch that thought and replace it. This is building me. This is teaching me. This is strengthening me. 4. Surround yourself with evidence of your resilience. Keep a record of every challenge you've overcome, every problem you've solved, every ban you've survived. When your mind tries to tell you you're breakable, show it proof that you're not. Machiavelli's cold law of mental power isn't complicated. Train your mind like you're preparing for war, because life is war. The mentally prepared survive. The mentally weak become casualties. If you're serious about this transformation, I need you to do something right now. Drop this declaration in the comments. I'm mentally invincible. Nothing breaks me. Everything builds me. Don't just type it. Mean it. Because those words are either a commitment you'll honor or a lie you'll tell yourself. And the mentally invincible don't lie to themselves. They make promises and they keep them. Subscribe to this channel if you want more of this brutal truth that actually transforms you instead of comfortable lies that keep you weak. Hit that notification bell because I'm going to keep delivering the psychological weapons you need to become untouchable. And most importantly, start training. Today. Right now. Pick one of these 7 laws and implement it immediately. Don't wait until you've mastered all 7. Pick one. Use it in the next situation you face. Then add another. Then another. Mental invincibility isn't something you achieve and then you're done. It's something you build every single day through deliberate practice. Machiavelli once said, "Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great." Your willingness to become mentally unbreakable will determine whether these laws transform you or just become another video you watched and forgot. The power has always been in your mind. You just needed someone to show you how to access it. Now you know. Now you have the laws. Now you have the system. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Remember, nothing breaks you. Everything builds you. Now go prove it.